everybody, Brandon Jones here, editor-in-chief of GameTrailers.com. I'm joined by Mr. Kyle Bossman.
Hi, everybody.
And Mr. Daniel Bloodworth.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about some trailers, if that's cool with you. We're going to watch a trailer that we've never seen before for Shelter 2. Gimme Shelter. And I'm curious, my main curiosity going into this, because I am familiar with this game and I have seen every trailer leading up to this, is the tone. Because it seems like this advertising campaign is like really calm and sleepy, and they're totally okay with that.
Okay.
Like they're really not going to like jump out and try to get you like uber excited about it. They're just like, you got your cubs and you're just going through the forest and you're just chilling. But it's the launch trailer, so I don't know if that's when you pull out all the stops. But we shall see. Shelter 2.
It's interesting. It starts with available on Steam.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Art. I like it.
These just you feel like taking a nap, you know? You're like, yeah.
Oh no, I'm invested. I'm hungry for more.
Was that the sun? That's cool.
Yeah, I like that sun animation. That's sweet.
Yeah, I see. There's the links.
Oh my gosh, the constellation.
So yeah, none of these trailers have had any kind of narration. There's no titles. Oh,
There's
as
title.
I said, titles. There's titles. So yeah, a little more context here in the launch trailer.
It's
That's what I
interesting
was
seeing all
curious
the
about.
constellations. So you're guarding your cubs or kits or whatever you call
Which
them.
we've seen grow up in the beginning. I wonder if that's your cubs all grown up, or I wonder if that's like the pack you start with, maybe.
This art is great.
Yeah.
The Lynx kind of looks like a couch, or like looks like it's made out of wood. Yeah, really play. I mean, it's really playing up
wow.
the game. You know, like this is the game. It's not trying to sell it as anything else.
This music's great.
You gotta kill something, right? You gotta hunt something in this game.
Yeah.
Its ears are perked.
Yeah, I mean, you saw someone hunting earlier.
Wow.
So interesting.
Interesting. You guys haven't seen any trailers for this so far. Not only an introduction to the launch trailer of Shelter 2, an introduction to the game and the campaign itself.
I'm a little mad about how that ended.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I kind of wish they, like as you were saying, like if you're caring for your cubs, then you should hunt something and take it back to them. And
Yeah,
we didn't really see that.
What are the mechanics of that? So we've established that we can walk around, and we can run, and we can pick our cubs up in our mouth if we need to forcibly carry them places. Don't really establish why you would need to do that. Maybe there's some platforming sections, or you need to get it across a river or up a mountain or something, and that's why you would actively put it in your mouth.
Yeah, so
And
like
we
that's the
kinda see it,
closest.
like,
That's the most
yeah,
hunting we got.
Chasing after some deer, but we never see it take it down. We don't see any meters, so it's like, I don't know if it's like a one-shot kill, if you like have to grapple it and like fight with it or something, if you're like slowly chipping away at it as you're chasing it. Do you need more context, Kyle Bossman?
No, I like what they're selling us is a game where we get to be a lynx. That's it's just like, hey, you want to play a game where you're a lynx? Here it is, and I think that's pretty cool. It is strange to bring up a family's journey and nothing else, but the way it fades out at the end is what bugs me. Is like once you reveal your title, like that's it. Here's our game, and then just an environment shot. There are no lynxes in that end scene, and then the music and the scene both kind of fade, fizzles out. No matter what your game is, I think you want to end your trailer with, "Here it is. You gotta play this," not just like, "Here it is," and then we'll see you all later.
But as I mentioned before, yeah, that's all the
Yeah.
trailers that they released for this game. It's like a very clear creative choice that they wanted to do.
Yeah.
It's just make it very calm, very serene. This is the circle of life, folks. This just happens.
Like if you cut to black here, I'm good, but instead we get rain, and then the music slowly just kind of fades out inconsequentially.
Also, no threats. You know, like, how do
Right.
you lose this game?
I don't want to lose. I don't want to see those things in this trailer. Do you want to see those?
Well, I don't want to see the little cubs die, but I mean, it's
Yeah.
like, I guess the cubs might perish from starvation, I'm guessing. That seems like the only real
Since you're
challenge.
not killing anything, yeah, probably.
Right. I mean, weather obviously changes. Curious how big the environment is. Curious if the environment is procedurally generated or if there is a standard map. So if
Right.
you do lose at the game and you start, you kind of know where things are, where you can find them. clearly these guys are in love with their art style, this developer, because like you were saying, the very last shot in the trailer doesn't even have a Lynx in it. You know, they're just kind of like playing up the environment. Yeah, I wish. That was one curiosity I had. We get the constellations here, but it's like, what does that mean? Is that something, you know, at night, can you use the constellations as a map? How is this Lynx lighting the environment around it right now? Is it like carrying a lamp or something? So yeah, maybe a little bit more context. I'll pull Michael Damiani and give it a 7.8.
I think this is a really good trailer. I'll give it a hard 9. I think it's one of those things where it's like you've matched the vibe of your game. You sold something that's different. Your game is different, and you were proud enough to show us how different it is. And great use of your music. You know, the ending caught me off guard, but yeah, you made a different trailer for a different game, and I think that's always a good thing. That's like the best you can do, you know?
Yeah, I feel like you know, for a launch trailer, it's kind of supposed to kind of sell me on like what this game is all about. I feel like it's missing the mark a little bit, but I definitely, you know, I like the overall vibe, and I like the look of the game, and they've kind of matched their vibe with their shots. But yeah, I feel like it should have shown a little bit more. So 7.6, I think, for me.
It's fair. And as I mentioned before, very similar to all their other trailers. And launch trailer is kind of that's your last little bit there. You know, you really should just bring it all. But they're very specific about how they want to sell their game. And interesting that it's like, I don't know if I'm tripping. We've had some issues with color this week on social media. That seems gray to me. It never like goes to full black.
Right.
It only goes to gray.
Yep.
Another like very clear stylistic choice. Okay, we got lots of other trailers this week. I put a couple extra more than we usually talk about because I knew Shelter 2 wouldn't be that very long of a trailer, probably wouldn't be a long discussion. Battlefield Hardline had a live-action trailer so bad it made Kyle laugh out loud while watching it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Do you think this is one of those things where there's like YouTube people they hire, like they're famous on YouTube and we should know who they are?
Dying Light also came out with a trailer that was kind of the same thing. It was just like guys chasing and then the zombies catch them. You're like, woof, you really gave me a exclusive angle on this game that I didn't have before, which raises the question, like, what do we get out of this trailer? For me, I get nothing. And what are we supposed to get? Like, how does this make me feel about Battlefield Hardline? How does this sell the game at all? Because the game looks way better than this.
Yep.
Is way more exciting than this.
Yeah.
This was clear, like us right now could put hoods on and grab Ian and a couple cameras from our stage and go shoot this.
I'm not jumping off the roof. I'm sorry.
Right, but I mean, we could if we were crazy enough. If we were Smosh and not GT, we would go jumping off that roof.
Some of the things I'm laughing at are like how unathletic these police officers are. Like the way they kind of like slowly grab onto somebody and like awkwardly. It's so strange. It's very amateurish.
It doesn't seem like it's playing up any gameplay mechanics. So that was
they
interesting.
kind of do the first-person thing too, which is also really awkward.
I actually had this in place of Mortal Kombat until Mortal Kombat showed up this morning, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, see ya, Battlefield. So I don't really want to talk about it a lot, but just down the road, I'm curious to maybe grab a live-action trailer, and we can open up the discussion again about like what you get out of live-action, especially at this point where, when is Hardline coming out? Pretty soon, right?
Yeah,
March.
Yeah, so it's like, at this point, what does that add to the campaign? Not sure. The battle of the super wacky trailers. Don't Be Patchman versus Y2K.
Ooh.
Both had really, really wacky trailers, and I dug Patchman more. I was curious
Really?
what you guys thought. Yeah.
No, I'm
maybe
definitely more in Y2K. Patchman was so all over the place that I wasn't quite sure what they were giving me. Like, am I seeing like a story arc play out, or yeah?
Do you remember DGU last week and we complained about how it doesn't tell us what that game is about? Patchman, I think, did a really good job of explaining everything what this game is about, like what you'll be doing in this game. Like, it did that at least. I think it's a super weird game, and you know, it's hard to make a trailer for a game that weird.
I just loved how weird it
Yeah,
was. It was
yeah.
just so bizarre. And maybe it's because I didn't know anything about Y2K. Maybe if I hadn't heard about Y2K at all. But we've checked that out at previous events.
Yeah.
Huber was excited about that game. We did a Just Played on it. So I did know a little bit about it. So when I watched Y2K, I felt like I was actually watching screenshots come to life as opposed to like being introduced to this game for the first time. And Patchman just had such a great vibe of like, this game is just straight up Looney Town and we love it. Like, we know you're confused right now and we don't care. Whereas the issue with DGU is I felt that they thought we did know. That they were like, oh, you get our game. It's like, I really don't. I really have no idea what's going on. Which is called Deaf God University, just for context.
Yeah.
In case people didn't read comments or follow us on Twitter. Supernova had a debut gameplay trailer this week. We also received the cinematic trailer, but I don't know if the cinematic trailer came out this week. I'm curious.
No, I think they made the announcement this week.
They both came out this week?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, both of these need to be the same trailer.
Yeah.
They need to take the gameplay debut and the cinematic thing and put it together. Because the cinematic teaser teases nothing.
Yeah.
It is a ship, and then a dude with a hammer, and then titles. It's like, that's not a game. That you need to, if you're just going to come out with a teaser and you're going to animate it, whether it's in-game or CG, there's got to be some kind of clue as to what's happening in this game. And that was answered for me when I actually saw it. Oh, okay, it's kind of MOBA-ish. It's kind of
No, it is a MOBA.
It's a MOBA, okay.
Hard MOBA.
And it's very...
It says like the galaxy or
It
the
seems
universe
like-
is your arena, is their
Yeah,
tagline.
it's very much trying to just... It feels like it's trying to like grab as much StarCraft as they can without getting in trouble. It's kind of...
I get anxiety watching these trailers because I know it's all wasted money.
Right?
There's no way this is going to be a success, and it like bums me out. It really like hurts my heart to watch these trailers.
If like DC, if Detective Comics is like, we're making a MOBA, and you're like, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be successful.
Right.
And then these guys are like, we're making a sci-fi MOBA. It's like, oh man, you gotta bring more to the table than that.
Bandai Namco. I know what you're doing.
So yeah, not super excited about that game, and just the lesson here is
that song. It's a terrible song, by the way.
Yeah, it was like a weird housey like.
Yeah. It's just like constant repetition of this obnoxious noise.
Filing in the adorable department, I really liked. I thought it kind of overstayed its welcome, but I did enjoy the first 30 seconds of the guild trailer for Terra Fate of Aaron or Arun. I think it's Arun.
Yeah, actually, I was the other way around. I was not into it at first, and then at some point it kind of like jumped a gap and was like, oh, this is actually kind of funny.
It's a hard sell in MMOs. It's like, here's you the player can do all of these things basically.
And I think it's kind of fun to like play up. I don't know, they kind of make fun of one of their races. You know, they're just like, here's this dumb little panda.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, I can imagine people playing the guild, they're like, not the guild, but playing Terra. They're like, hey, I'm a panda. Pandas are cool. You know? So I liked that it was able to make fun of itself. Have there really never been guilds in Terra?
Yeah, it's the thing. It's like they're introducing a very standard feature in a pretty fun way, I think. You know?
Yeah, so maybe that's another thing that they can cover up. That like, you know, MMOs should have these at launch.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there. So yeah, I do like that it's kind of funny. It's a little bit too long. Kind of overstates its welcome, especially with the VO.
Yeah, I would agree. It's too long.
And lots of Kickstarter trailers this week. Lots of really bad Kickstarter trailers. We should have one episode of Let's Go that is just us talking about Kickstarter trailers. This one got me, man. What do you guys think of this?
What do you mean got you? In a good way?
There were two moments of this that I thought were really, really clever, and I thought were an interesting way to stand apart from other Kickstarter trailers. I didn't get a feeling of desperation from this trailer, which is always kind of depressing when you watch Kickstarter stuff, and they're like, please, God, send us money, please. I didn't feel that. I didn't feel like I was being commanded to give this project money.
That's a fair point.
I thought was really smart, obviously, to show the previous Toe Jam and Earls. And the two bits that just really cracked me up are, one, his accent I thought was really funny, because I don't know the guy. Like, I might know his name, but, like, I don't know that he's, you know, not Irish or Scottish or British or whatever he was trying to pull off. And so it was kind of charming. I was like, oh, this guy's adorable. And it's like, no, he's just jerking your chain. He doesn't have an accent.
Ian hated that.
Yeah, that really bugged me, too.
Ian brought that up yesterday. I hate that guy for that.
But again, what are you going to do in a Kickstarter trailer, you know? It's like there's so many tropes that people stick to of just, again, pleading. And it, like, him doing that just had this vibe of, like, I don't care. I want to make a Toe Jam and Earl game. You can give me money, you can't, whatever.
Yeah.
And I loved how he talked about, I'm assuming the other person who developed the original Toe Jam and Earl games, that he mentions, like, this guy's not involved. He's doing something else.
Right.
It just kind of like, I don't know if it's the equivalent of, like, throwing that guy under the bus, but, like, I just loved the honesty there. I love that he's like, you're expecting him to be a part of this project. He's not. I'm making it anyway. It just seemed like a very honest trailer, and the tendency can be in Kickstarter trailers to not be honest, to try to sell yourself way more than what you are. Peter balling you. So it's nice that it's nice that he's really upfront and has this really casual attitude about his project.
Yeah.
And I
the
really
thing
enjoyed
that bummed me out, though, is the actual look of the project as it is right now, because, you know, when they were showing, like, the unreleased Genesis sequel, I was like, oh yeah, I'm kind of into that.
Yeah.
And they showed, like, the Polygon version of the other thing that got canceled, like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then they show this, and like,
yeah, that's a whole nother conversation altogether.
Don't know what you're.
That's not the trailer's fault.
Especially since there's so many amazing pixel games now. You know, there's so many great Kickstarter projects. There's so many great retro classic pixel, like from horror games to actually something like Crawl. You know, that just has like really great pixel aesthetic. yeah, I don't know why he went with this. He even calls it out and says exactly what he was inspired by, which is like 90s comic books, which I don't know, kind of makes the game feel kind of empty and makes it kind of hard to look at. Who's the big? Is Earl the big fat guy, or is Earl the red guy?
I
Who are
think
we
Earl's
seeing?
the red guy.
Okay, so we're seeing mostly Earl.
I could be totally wrong.
Walking around the environment, or seeing the little red dude, and it's like kind of hard to look at him. Like his details are kind of lost because he just kind of vanishes into the environment. But that's, let's all go to the video games, not let's all go to the trailers.
Yeah.
That's just like critiquing the actual game itself. But separated itself, I felt, from other Kickstarter trailers, and that's what I appreciated it for. So, trailer of the week's Batman Arkham Knight. Thanks everybody for tuning in this week. That's really great, and we'll see you next week. I mean, anybody contesting me? Huh?
No.
Huh?
That's my vote.
I'm in the hunger. Yeah.
Wait,
Oh,
Hunger Games.
Hunger over Batman Arkham
Yeah.
Knight.
Really? So it doesn't get that gold medal of all three. Wow. You think Hunger is a better trailer than that Batman Arkham Knight trailer?
It made me more excited. Yeah,
Wow.
I think so.
I'll give him that because, like I said, as much as I love the writing, as much as I love the music, as much as I love the sound design and the dialogue, it is retreading a lot of concepts we are familiar with the game, whereas Hunger's is brand new. I can understand people being really excited about that. I mean, case in point, 6 people hit me up on Twitter asking us to talk about the Hunger. Only one person hit me up.
Yeah.
And with a tweet that was like, I don't even know why I'm tweeting this at you. I'm just assuming you're going to talk about it anyway. So there we go, but it still wins 2-1. So officially, Batman Arkham Knight is Trailer of the Week. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll see you next week.